So my goal this morning was to test whether this Stan's dart would seal a large diameter puncture like this stick that I managed to get through my tire the other day. But upon a little bit of review, what I found was the length of the stick had actually punctured the tape straight through a spoke hole. Now, if you're a glass half full guy, this is probably never going to happen to you. For me, Murphy's Law, it's happened to me a handful of times actually. So I decided that rather than play with the Stan's dart, I was going to install a CushCore XC because that would keep this from happening again, as well as give me a little bit more tire support and let me play with tire pressures. So the first step in repairing your tape is get it good and clean. Now you can repair patches of tape, but in this case I decided to do the whole thing. It had been a minute. But it really needs to be clean of any of the previous adhesive, any debris, any built up tubeless sealant, whatever. That's the number one pain in the ass with rim tape for me, is that, getting it to stick. So I use a bit of muck off here, spray it off, and then I'm going to use a little bit of Windex, an ammonia based window cleaner, just to try to take off a little bit of that sheen. And you're going to want to make sure that this dries. If you try to do this and then slap it right on, you're going to end up having adhesion problems, like you'll see here in the first take, where the tape doesn't want to stick at all, it just flops right off. So after I let it dry for a bit, here's a more successful way to tape it. You're going to notice that my left hand draws all the way over, almost 180 degrees to hold that tape. This tape isn't really super adhesive. It gets its adhesion almost from the stretch, and that stretch also allows you to really work it down into the channel in your rim. So don't expect to be able to put down 1 or 2 inches at a time. You're going to need to really pull on that tape and get it stuck down. You see the beginning tab doesn't really have a ton of adhesion. It's actually kept down more by the overlap from the other piece. But pull really good and hard, work it all the way into that rim. Once you're done, go ahead and work it into that trough a little bit more with your fingers. It's also good, you could use a rag, and that'll help keep the friction to a minimum, because you're going to build up a decent amount of heat on your fingers doing this. So for full disclosure, I tried a couple times to do the install kind of in the standard way you would do a CushCore Pro. What I kept finding was that, you see right there, the XC would pop out when you'd get close to getting that first bead in. It just would pop out the bottom. I did it a couple times. It tended to frustrate me. There you see it pop out again. Both of those are a little bit accelerated. This video shot in real time, so you can get an idea of sort of, how long it took. So the first thing I do is I set one bead. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to install the CushCore XC into that set bead. I was just trying things to see what would work for me. You'll notice I'm outside, that's so I can get the tire a little bit warm with the sun. I go ahead and get the CushCore XC started in here. Now with the 29mm rim, the XC doesn't give me a ton of snake bite protection, but it does give me a little bit. And I really wasn't, I just wasn't sure I wanted the full Pro one, based on installation, tire removal, as well as, there's a little bit more weight to it. You'll notice I get down low. That helps a ton with the leverage. And then rather than trying to push it in like a thumb width at a time, you'll notice towards the end, I get to where I'm pushing my hand and loading the CushCore XC about a fist width, and then drive it all the way into the trough. Rather than trying to drive each little bit into the trough, and that really worked a lot better than anything I had found. So you'll see my left hand moves kind of about a fist width, push it in, about a fist width, push it in. So now I've got half the bead on the second side, CushCore XC is all the way in, and I was actually able to finish this off just with my hand. No tire levers needed, which was it's nice because I'm not usually the guy that can do that. I do have my hands aren't the best, so the fact that I can do this probably means most of you can too. The tire beaded up no problem. A little bit of Windex and hit it with the compressor, and it was quick and easy. I don't know if you see right there, something I did built up pressure, and when I pulled the syringe out, it actually kind of volcanoed out of the stem. So what I found was if I went and I used gravity and pressure, so you see me squeeze the tire here before I insert the syringe and push in the sealant. I was trying to create a vacuum so that it wouldn't jettison back out. And then, like I said, I was trying to use gravity to let it maybe not be quite as low of a point. Knock it around a little bit, because it had been a little frustrating after working to install the tire so hard to have a stands volcano. But anyway, it was pretty easy, and go ahead and read up on the blog for some of the first ride thoughts and how this has affected my tire pressures and my approach to rear tire setup. Thanks for watching.